Hello, Dr. Gonzalez. Hello, classmates. My name is Rodrigo Festucia, and today we're going to be talking about the Pagamigo case one more time. I did a little scope of what I'm going to be talking about here, presenting a little bit of the problems and the solutions that Arturo, the new manager of the company, can do it. First, we're going to go a little bit around the background of the company. Pagamigo was created in 1996 as part of the Regal Group, and then the company was separated from the Regal Group because of purchase of the European multinational company that they bought the Regal Group, but because of any reasons they didn't want to involve Pagamigo on the transaction, so Pagamigo started working by itself. This was the first transitions that Pagamigo was passing by, and this created a lot of instability inside the company because employees were feeling insecure about their jobs. They start getting afraid of losing their jobs or what this transition could be like for the company. And this already generated a lot of problems for the employees that were working at the company at the time, because of course, when employees are not sure about the future of the company, they feel unsafe and maybe even unwilling to perform their jobs properly, or all the stress created in a transition like that makes the environment of work really hard, and of course influence on the company profitability and performance. Then again, the company suffered another transition in 2015. Bila, the Banco Interamericano, if I'm not wrong, I think that is the name. Banco Ibero Latino, I'm sorry. They made a purchase of Pagamigo, trying to introduce their products, their bank products, to Pagamigo. And of course, this again creates another uncertainty inside the company. So employees, they again felt, oh, another transition to another company. How is the company is going to be like from now on? What is going to be the future of our company? What is going to happen? How I'm going to start selling another product? And of course, all this uncertainty again affects a lot the productivity of the company. And there is some statements that we can read on the case. The employees says that they are not feeling challenged anymore, that they are not as engaged with their jobs as they were before. And this of course is a problem for the managers and for the owners of the company. For what we read, a lot of employees, they started at the company, they were still working at the company when Bila made that purchase. And again, all the stress created in these transitions make the job really hard to be performed, and make the morale of the employees to get lower in regarding the company, because if in a gap of 15 years the company changed its ownership twice, they might be thinking, okay, what is going to be the future? When is going to be the next transition? Because of course they feel unsafe of their jobs and unsafe of the future of the company. And this makes a lot harder for them to perform their jobs correctly and perform their job well. That this is the most important part of it. Arturo Briones is the guy that we're going to talk about. He gets to the company as the manager when Bila make the acquisition of Pagamigo, and he has the vision to put the company into the digital area. That means that he wants to input all the technology advancements that were, of course, surging with the passing of the years. He wants to put this inside Pagamigo, and of course, to make this is not from one day to another that you're gonna do it. There's a transition. There's a lot of things that you need to make sure that are working correctly before you make this digital area thing. Sorry. Um, when Arturo Briones gets into the company, he faced, I put 4 bullet points over here. Lack of motivation, so employees were not motivated to work along the new company that made the acquisition. They didn't feel motivated to move to a digital area because, of course, they were already used with performing the jobs on laptops. So moving to new softwares, moving to cell phone, moving to new things for them were, they were feeling really scared of what would be this transition, how would they do that if they were not able to manage the softwares and now the digital equipment that the company was intending to put it in the company, or in the company how can I say that, into the company daily routine. So it was really hard for Arturo, because when you get in a place that you see that your employees are not motivated to perform their jobs, of course the performance is going to be low. The second problem is the lack of communication. I separate here another card where I have all the conversations that he had with the manager of finance, for example, that had great knowledge about their job, but bad in communication. Luis Rivas, operation manager, qualified but not engaged with other employees, another lack of communication. Administrative manager, Roberto Diaz, he is the one that don't know that much about the job, about the company, but he was a little bit better on communicative skills. Then we have the system manager, Carlos Sanchez. He was in the company his entire career since he started working, but also unwilling to engage with others. That means lack of communication with other employees. And then the project department, Victor Mena, that had also the unwillingness to engage with others. I put this lack of communication as another problem for Mr. Briones, because think about any company nowadays. How is a company able to perform if the employees are not engaged and not communicating well with each other? If there's a problem inside an institution, the only way to solve it is with the communication. All the departments, they must know what is the problem, discuss about the problem to find a solution about it. Now, if the managers of their areas sitting on the task, they were not willing to communicate with others, how is Pagamigo able to find the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities? How is the company able to find what is the problem that needs to be solved, and how is the company able to maintain a higher performance? It's really hard for Mr. Briones to work along with these people that were on the company before if they are not willing to communicate with each other and to engage with other employees. The third one that I put in here is the lack of culture. Since the company was passing through a lot of transitions, I think it's really hard for Mr. Briones to come inside the company and to define the culture of the company. The culture can only be defined and actually put in place with a lot of time and commitment from the employees. If the employees are not committed, and if the employees don't know the culture of the company, how are they gonna have a great behavior regarding the culture? How are they gonna understand what is the company expecting from you as a behavior standard So I think the lack of culture is also a really bad problem for Mr. Briones. Um, he might identify some things from the past culture, but to place his culture, the culture that he wants for the future of the company, for the digital era, is gonna take some time for him to do it. So I think it's also a big problem for him. And last but not least, the lack of skilled workforce. Mr. Briones really wants to implement new technologies inside the company, but at the end of the day, Pagamigo employees only know how to work with computers and past technologies that are already old. We can say that is already old for the generation that Mr. Briones is trying to bring inside the company. So how we're gonna give, for example, Luis Rivas, for example, that is the operation manager, new softwares, new technologies that he never saw in his life, and tell him, okay, here, go perform. It's impossible. It's really impossible for a person to do something that they are not skilled enough, or they're not capable to do it, or that they never experienced in their lives. A person must be able to perform their jobs according with their capabilities and the skills that they have. If they don't have the skills and the capabilities to do it, so it's really hard for the manager like Mr. Briones to expect great returns and great performance. Of course, I now presented the problems, and now I bring some solutions for Mr. Briones that, in my point of view, is what he's supposed to do it. And he cannot let this for next month, next year. It must be now. Right after he got to Pagamigo, he must start doing it. First thing I put here is a new HR manager. He mentioned over there on the case that he only have 2 people inside the HR department, and one is more financial related, that organize the payrolls and stuff, and the other one is something related with health organization, something about it, but none of them has managerial skills. So how come a company without a HR manager is supposed to perform? How you're going to identify the problems with your workforce if you don't have somebody supervising all this area? It's really hard. So I think the first thing he must do it is hire a great new HR manager. Second, as soon as possible, he must implement a training focused on the use of digital equipment. He must do that because, as I mentioned before, there is no sense of implementing new technologies if the workforce is not capable and skillful enough to use it. People must know how to use the softwares that they want to implement inside the company. People must be able to use the new equipment that the company is going to be purchasing. Otherwise, all the investment is going to be pointless. So the training for the people inside the company to be able to use this equipment and these new softwares and equipment is crucial for Mr. Briones' success. Third, fire employees that are not willing to collaborate. As I put in the other paper over here, most of the managers that were either supervisors of any department inside Pagamigo or the ones that were in charge at the time, they do not seem really willing to the new view, to the new goals that the company is setting. They don't want to work with the other employees, they don't want to communicate, they don't want to engage. And a company without employees' engagement, it's fated to fail. I would say like that. Inside a company, inside internal environment of the company, employees must be engaging. Employees must be addressing problems and solutions. Employees must be always aware of everything that is going on. A person cannot be set to perform a specific job and not engage with others without addressing what is going on. So I think Mr. Bjornis should set specific meetings with each of these directors, with each of these managers of their departments, to have a very, I would say tough, but direct and straight conversation, explaining the new goals, the new vision for the company, and explaining that for now on, if you guys want to keep working with Pagamigo, you guys must understand that we're gonna have to do meetings, constant meetings, audition. We're gonna have to engage with the other employees. We're gonna have to work together in order to acquire the biggest goal of the company, that is going into the digital area. The ones that are not willing to do it are very welcome to leave. They are not gonna lose any benefits that they will have, that they can have, of course, but unfortunately, if they are not willing to collaborate and to understand the new goals of the company, they are more than welcome to leave. This would be my advice for Mr. Briones. He mentioned also about the motivational workshops, and I think that would be really beneficial for all the employees as a whole. He could set specific departments to have a weekly motivational workshop, so he could, try to push these people to understand the biggest goal of the company, and try to motivate them in a way that they would feel more support to perform, more propensity to persuaded to perform well their jobs. So I think that is really really beneficial for Mr. Briones as well, and I think it would be worth inside the organization. And the last one is also something that I mentioned before, is about the company's culture. I think Mr. Briones, little by little, first of all, he needs to show all the employees what is the company's culture and what is his expectations for his employees. He must let the employees know what he is expecting as a manager from their behavior. Employees must know how they should behave inside the company based on the company culture. Of course, this last year will not come from the day to the night, or from the night to the day, but little by little he must make people understand what he wants as a standard behavior inside the organization. Only like that he's gonna be able to show the employees what is the expectations from the company, and what is the standard behavior that must be addressed inside the workforce environment. And that's it, Professor. I think I addressed all the problems that I faced, that I understand, and all the solutions that I will give for Mr. Briones. It's a really interesting case because we can see that when the company passed through all these transitions, the uncertainty and the instability inside the company might create a stress that is higher than expected. And then the person that gets to a place, the person that is getting into a new place where people already know each other, and he's there now, Mr. Briones, trying to find solutions for the problems of the company, it can be really hard to. So he must put in place the solutions as quick as possible, not tomorrow, not next week, but as soon as he gets there, in order to get the wheels of the company again, and put the company in a better perspective for the future. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you very much, and I see you soon.